Total tonight in the modified class, we've got 11 cars that are going to be racing here. Let us roll through the lineup. On the pole, driving the number 9, it is a Ford product. It is Lee McRae. On his outside, driving the 4N, it is Nolan Olmstead. Row 2, we've got the 1R of Rick Delane. On his outside, driving the 57, that is Kevin Sexton. Row 3 has the number 7 of Danny Staff. On his outside, it's the 1S of Dustin Strand. Row 4, we've got the 10W of Ward Emery. On his outside, it's the 5G of Scott Greer. Row number 5, we've got the 24. He's a rookie in this class. That is James Wall. On his outside, it's the 48 of Jerome Guillot. And in row number 6, driving the A1, it is Ian Russo. That is your lineup for the Big FM modified class here. 15 laps on the board as we get ready to go racing.
All right. Your Big FM Modifieds has a Ford on the front row. That is Lee McRae. He has won plenty of races in the Super Truck division. Also has found victory lane in your Big FM Modifieds. He wants to take that Ford to victory lane once again. But beside him is the wild child out of Devils Lake, North Dakota. That is Nolan Olmstead in the Central Broiler 4N. We're set to go racing here in your Big FM Modifieds. Green flag is out. Here we go. Big FM Modifieds are under green. Nolan Olmstead went heavy into turn 1 and 2. Looked like he was going over, but what a great job. He gathered that car in and powered down the back straightaway. Nolan Olmstead out of Devils Lake, North Dakota is your leader. And he is flying. Sexton is on the move in the custom EDM 57. Keep your eyes on the Chevy. Number 57, Sexton, is in third. He goes by Dustin Strand. Side by side with Sexton. What a race. These A-mods have the candles lit, but right now, Nolan Olmstead, who runs the racetrack in Devils Lake, North Dakota, is your leader. He lives between Greenbush, Minnesota, and Devils Lake, North Dakota, does Nolan Olmstead. And right now, he is leading this race in Winnipeg. Four down, 11 to go. Lee McRae now gets a good drive, but can't close the gap on the 4N of Olmstead. Strand third, Sexton fourth, Rick Delane up there to join the party. Danny Staff now on the inside of Sexton. Scott Greer right there. What a modified race. These cars are flying on a great looking racetrack. Dustin Strand takes the RealTruck.com number 1S to second spot now. On the high side is McRae. On the high side is Rick Delane. This The greatest race of the night, no doubt about that. Dustin Strand now heavy on the throttle. He is looking at the bumper of Nolan Olmsted. Look at Rick Delane now on the inside of the 9. Wow! The 9 car is off the racetrack. Yellow flag is up. Well, Lee McRae in the Ford number 9 back onto the racetrack. And we are just awaiting official confirmation. The 9 and the 1R went up to the top of turn 3 and 4. And we've just been informed caution is on the 1R of Rick Delane. Lee McRae coming back to the 1R to let him know he wasn't quite pleased about that. With that caution, however, the 1R of Rick Delane will go back to the back of the pack. Tough break for Rick Delane, running very, very hard. All of those drivers were running very hard, in fact. And Rick Delane got a little hot into turn 3 and 4, tapped Lee McRae. I can guarantee you that was not intentional, but in auto racing, when they're inches apart, that stuff happens. Rick Delane is not that type of driver, however. It's just a matter of circumstance there. Lee McRae gets his spot back. The 1R of Rick Delane, sponsored by Westbrook and Johnson's Hog Barbecue, will restart this race at the back of the pack. So now he has got his work cut out for him. So halfway through this race, Rick Delane is going to have to come forward, but it is not easy in that class. You saw just how competitive each and every driver is in our A-Mods. Nolan Olmsted having a great race. He lives in Greenbush, Minnesota, and he's got the green flag, and we are racing once again. Lee McRae on the power, but he's off the back straightaway, almost getting by Strand. That's going to cost him. Sexton moves on the inside of the 9 of McRae, but he's back on the throttle. McRae's doing a good job here. He's battling back each and every time, and he's back into third. Now Strand goes to the bottom of the racetrack. The wild child, Nolan Olmsted, manages to hold off Strand, but Strand seems to be getting stronger. Strand goes on by in the RealTruck.com 1S out of Grand Forks. So a driver from Grand Forks, North Dakota is your leader. A driver that spends his time between North Dakota and Minnesota is second. Lee McRae out of Marquette, Manitoba, third. Danny Staff out of East St. Paul, fourth. But a yellow flag comes out. The 5G is at the top of turn 2. Caution is on the 5G of Scott Greer. Wow, what a unbelievable pace here in your Big FM modified division. Dustin Strand in the 1S, taking over the lead from the wild child, Nolan Olmsted out of Devil's Lake and Greenbush, Minnesota. The 9 of Lee McRae has continually battled back here. I wouldn't count him out quite yet in that big Ford. Lee, of course, sponsored by Johnny McRae Trucking, Central Hydronics, and Archangel Fireworks, along with the Rubber Ducky Resort. All right, so it looks like the racetrack is clear. All right, racetrack is clear. We're going green this time around. Keep your eyes on them. Big FM Modifieds are under throttle. We're racing. Dylan Sexton on the move past the 9. The 10 of Ward Emery is there. Rick Delane continues to move up in the pack. Rick Delane now following Ward Emery. Ward Emery by the 9 car. Battles all over the racetrack. Danny Staff and the signs now A1 Environmental 7. Shows Olmsted his rear bumper. This time around we'll have 2 laps remaining, 2 to go. Two laps remaining. White flag is out now for your race leader. That is Dustin Strand. Olmsted now having some problems as Sexton comes up to challenge. Checkered flag is out. Your winner is going to be Dustin Strand out of Grand Forks. Second spot, the 7 of Staff with a nice run. Third is going to be Sexton. Fourth, the 4N of Nolan Olmsted. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you want to talk about a race that was a race from the very start to the very end, that was one right there. Strand doing a great job taking the win. That driver out of Grand Forks, North Dakota, certainly earned it in the realtruck.com Millennium Chassis 1S. The 7 of Danny Staff, sponsored by Regent Construction, also with a strong run. Nolan Olmsted looked like he was going to mow everybody down and not give anybody a chance early on in the race, but the drivers pursued. They never gave up. And what a great race it turned out to be here at Red River Co-op Speedway tonight. That, of course, brought to you by Piston Ring, established in 1953 and supporting Manitoba and Northwestern Ontario. Want to remind everybody we are back here this Thursday for Thursday Night Thunder. Log on to redrivercoopspeedway.ca for more information on tickets as Dustin Strand takes the sweetest lap in motorsports in the realtruck.com Millennium Chassis 1S. That car was certainly rocket fast. He bided his time tonight, that driver, with lots of laps here at Red River Co-op Speedway and around the Wazota circuit. And Dustin Strand certainly took the boys to school tonight in the Millennium Chassis, also sponsored by realtruck.com. He will pull into victory lane and he will have a chat with Ken from Big Day Media. And that'll do it for tonight's program. Don't forget, following the races, we will have the Walk the Track. You can come down over the wall, through a set of stairs and down the front straightaway into turn number 1, walk the track and go visit with your favorite drivers.
Driving the big, in the big FM modified class, driving the 1S from Grand Forks, it is Dustin Strand. What a great race for you tonight, Dustin. Congratulations on the big victory. Got to ask you, normally we don't see you driving a modified here at Red River Co-op Speedway. What's the change this week?
Well, I tell you, we have a modified of our own, and we build these cars. This is kind of a new deal we took on. It's a impressive 71 series, and I just sold this car to Vince. He ran at the Dakota Tour, and he was struggling a little bit, so he brought it to me and asked me to race it a little bit to get it dialed in, but I think we got her. I think she's ready for him now.
Are we going to see this car back here for the Big Al Delane Memorial?
Well, I'd love to be here for that, but we got a late model race in Grand Forks that night. If they raced this deal on a Thursday, I'd be here every year. I don't know why they switched it, but we'd love to be here, and we'll be here when you can. We'll be here next Thursday with the late model.
Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank Timmy in the pits. He's the one that made her happen tonight. And Scott Bentz with realtruck.com, Shield Construction, Forest Flying Service, my mom, dad, wife, just everybody that makes us rock.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations on your big win tonight, driving the 1S. Dustin Strand. Dustin, come here and grab your trophy first. We don't want you to walk away without that. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, from all of us here at Red River Co-op Speedway and from us here